Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Oakland Athletics. In today's episode, we're going to be playing through the 2032 season. We have been the general manager, of the Oakland A's for a while now. Let's see here. I think this is going to be our 9th year. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, this is year number. This will be year number 10. I think. Yes. And I think we've done okay for ourselves. I truly do. We make the playoffs more often than not, although we're still struggling to find that one missing ingredient to take us over the top into being one of the better teams. But I think, given the restrictions on our payroll, that we would shoot as much as we have is quite impressive. We're going to have some tricky decisions to make at the end of the year, as always. And we probably want to think about making some, at least medium-term offers to try to lock up some of our talent for a bit cheaper. But I don't know who actually is worthy of that yet. I'm not sure yet. The Paul Skeens situation is going to be really interesting. Now, Mr. Skeens is coming off of a lost year. 2031, he didn't pitch at all. And in 2030, he wasn't that impressive. So if he has an amazing year, he'll probably opt out of the contract, thinking he can probably earn more money. And if so, that's fine. Also, I could totally make him a 2A player if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. However, I think it's going to be really important to see. Let's get a quick scouting report on him. Somebody in the comments pointed out that the injury prone only updates the scouting report. And we won't be getting one of those until May, so this will hopefully give us a bit more information. But yes, if he does opt out, I will happily offer him a qualifying offer and take that. But we'll see what happens here. Oh, that's very cool. It tells you when he's going to be scouted. Amazing. Beyond that, we have to figure out if Eddie's Leonard is going to end up being very good for us or not. We just brought him in on a 1-year deal. So let's look at our lineup. So the first is new player Yi-K Lim, who is one of our new corner outfielders who could handle center if he had to. But it seems like he's a pretty talented player that just hasn't had a chance to get regular at-bats. He does have the common weakness, of course, of being highly reliant on his batting average. But he's got enough secondary skills that he has at least a chance to stick. So that's one of our new players. Nate Arthur is getting given a very big role, and literally anything could happen with him. If he can crank out 25 to 30 home runs, or even more than that, and draw walks when he isn't hitting homers, I think that'll be very helpful. Very useful indeed. Also, the man hit 57 homers in 1 year in the big leagues, which is pretty wild. Sorry, 69. Nice. Between the two levels. So we'll see what he does in a full Major League season, but hitting 11 homers in 44 games is a pretty great sign, all things considered. We have Jacob Kendall returning for his 3rd season before he starts costing me an arbitration. I don't know what we do with him. I truly don't. He wants to get paid a lot of money. You may remember that from the last episode. If we look at his 9-year deal, for example, he wants $20 million a year. It's really hard for me to justify that for a second baseman, but I think we need a 3rd year. No matter what, before we make any kind of decisions about bringing him back long-term or not. Because he had a very excellent rookie year, in which he finished... He didn't even make the top 3 for Rookie of the Year, which is kind of a bummer, but nonetheless. Outstanding rookie year, and a pretty decent follow-up year. Now, he's shifted. He's played only shortstop for us in the past. So him playing second base is going to be an adjustment, but I think it's going to be a good one. We also have Bellarmino Besicoa, or Beiscoa, who could be an excellent on-base type. An excellent one. We can definitely use more of those. One of the things we need to do is just make sure we get on base more often. I think it's going to be a huge help. We have not gone in for a top-tier free agent for a while, but Rodolfo Romero is our first. He is a international free agent. He's never played in the big leagues before. But you look at his ratings, he could be a special offensive talent, and he's plenty good enough to stay a shortstop. We have him locked up for several years, 5 of them to be precise. And if it turns out he sucks, then we can get rid of him easily. I think he will more than repay our faith in him, but a lot will depend on his hit tool. If he can't hit for contact consistently, he's going to be Jacob Kendall, but better. Which is really good. Really, really good. Siegler returns at catcher. And then Dysmel Miner is going to be playing center field for us, at least early on. He doesn't have a ton of experience above A-ball. But if Mike Houseman were healthy, I would probably just play Mike Houseman. Alas, we don't have that luxury right now. So we're going to see if Miner here can be a quality sort. Mike Swanson needs to start if we're ever going to see a return on his value. And so I'm forcing him to start right now. And I think he can handle it. He just needs to be given the ball and be left alone. High ERAs in the Pacific Coast League don't bother me at all. It's very much a hitter's league. So we'll see how he does in the bigs. Old rotation mainstay Ian Anderson returns for another season. Guys, this is one of our best ever contracts. Like, we got a reliable hand in the rotation for pennies on the dollar, and I'm really pleased about that. Skeens is back, hopefully to pitch at his best. Jackson Joe, our rent-a-starter, is hopefully going to give us another quality season. And then Zach Kent, who we got from the White Sox, is back for another season with us. Our bullpen is probably one of our bigger weaknesses. And then we have a lot of good relievers. We don't have a lot of great ones. There's a whole bunch of relievers all roughly the same talent level. So we'll see how this works out. I initially had brought in Melvin Hernandez to be a starter. But I do like the idea of making him like the uber reliever. Like a Joe Camp type, making him a stopper. But we'll see what happens. We do need an elite pitcher in the bullpen, and maybe he'll offer that for us. Alright, I think that's enough jibber-jabber. Let us simulate a month of baseball, shall we? Sergio Saldate. What is your deal? Oh, I traded for you. So I've got to put you on the 38-man roster, but then I can send you to AAA. There you go. We're off to kind of a rough start. Winning only 2 games is what we call bad. Alberto Flores is an amazing pitcher. I would love to bring him back to the roster, so I will. Who's the most expendable? It's probably Daniel Lloyd. So you go to the minors, and then you make your triumphant return, and then we see how everything else works out. So far, we're not scoring runs, which is a problem. Mr. Minor, you're playing adequately, but I really don't want you in the bigs yet. I'm going to send you down to double A, and I'm going to activate Howman. And we'll see how that gets us through the rest of the season. I do apologize. I'm apparently very dry-throated this morning. Oviedo, you need to fucking knock this shit off. Your constant "I'm hurt all the time" is getting really old. Alright, so we need to replace him first baseman. And I'm not super well prepared for this, but I guess Jonathan Nelson is as good as it's going to get. So he's going to come in and be given some first base at bats. Do I get my scouting report? Jesus Christ, you lazy fucker. Oh, here it is. Okay. His injury prone still says normal, so that's not a bad thing at all. Good, good. Flores losing velocity is a troubling sign, and it is going to cost him quite a lot. Kim is getting better, and a bunch of other players got slightly worse, which is fine. Yeah, we're not offensively, we're not getting anything. I'm just going to go ahead and sim another month, though, because it gives me just a cold start to the season. And I don't want to borrow any trouble yet. But if we continue to not hit, I think we're going to have to make some decisions right quick. You're going to be out for 5 weeks, so that's okay, I guess. I have entirely too many outfielders anyway, so I'm just going to leave a roster spot open for when Oviedo is healthy. How many pictures am I carrying? I'm carrying 12. Okay. That's fine. Really, fucker? Really? Alright, so we're going to take him back. And I'm going to leave Jonathan Nelson on the roster, too, just to offer a little bit more depth on the bench. Because we have a comically huge number of outfielders. Wait, how are we carrying 7 outfielders? What? Oh, I think a couple of you are two-way players. Maybe? I really have 15... Yeah, this is not great. I am going to try to get rid of one of these outfielders. Gregoire, probably. And I'm going to have another reliever up. Like a Jeremy Lambert. I think that's a better fit for this club. I don't know why you're not starting Demoya, though. This is kind of frustrating because he's not getting regular reps. You're basically using him at the back end of the bullpen, which is not his best thing, but I'll trust you to figure him out. Alright. I have a personal message, which is lovely. Skeens is getting better movement on his pitches, but that's still not terribly thrilling. Minor's time in the big leagues has already paid off a little bit, which is great. You love to see it. Gilberto Cabral is getting better, which is great. Nice. Okay. Our lineup is still trash. There's really no better way to put it than calling the lineup trash. It is getting better, but currently it is definitely a trash tier lineup. This is a big part of it. Nate Arthur is doing none of the things he should be doing. Only 150 at bats. I'm not willing to get rid of him yet, but this has to change dramatically. I don't need him to hit 300. I need him to hit at least as well as he did last year with Oakland. And the fact he's not driving the ball when he does hit it is deeply concerning. He's got a fair few extra base hits, but still. So Arthur is already a problem. Romero is fine. I'd like him to be a little bit better, obviously, but this is acceptable. As long as he's playing good defense, which he is. Errors are a bit more than I'd like, but I can make this work. But yeah, like, Jacob Kendall should not be leading off. You get your best on-base guys at the top of the lineup, not your worst. But then again, I don't really have any great on-base guys. And I think that is by far the biggest concern. We have some talented hitters, but we don't have players that are contributing consistently at a high level. Oviedo figuring out his shit would be lovely. I'd sure love to see him actually hit after all that we've invested in him. The question is, are we going to get better, or is this our current level? For one thing, Jacob Kendall should be much better than he is. This is not normal for him. If he returns to his skill level of last year, that's going to be a shot in the arm for the lineup. Nate Arthur can't be this bad. Like, I refuse to accept that he's this terrible at his job. So he will get one more month of at-bats, and if he continues to fuck up, he's out. Seigler has always been hit or miss offensively. I'm going to let him figure it out, though. Howman... We have a lot of players that are supposed to be average first, and they're not hitting for average, which is somewhat concerning. I know that's just, these are broken in OOTP, don't be stupid or what, but I do think... Alright, let's make a move. Also, our starting pitching staff is kind of sucking from top to bottom, but there's not much I can do about that. I don't see a solution to that problem other than like taking Swanson out of the rotation. They just need to pitch through it, is what they need to do. Also, our defense is really bad. That may be what's hurting all these players. If we look at pitching stats, yeah, their FIP is quite a bit lower than their ERA. So clearly somebody is woefully inadequate defensively. There we go. I'm gonna make a new superpowered fielding stats thing here. Let's get the percentages here, and this will be very, very helpful. There you go. Because this will tell us this is a really good measure of range. And then I'm going to quickly save this version of the fielding stats. Save as global, please. There you go. Alright, so we go by zone rating. Yeah, we lack a truly exceptional defender. I mean, Bessacoa being a great defender is lovely, but that's not really what we're here for. If we take a look at a player like Romero, Romero is really struggling to get to balls, which is weird because range is supposed to be what he's the best at. But he's not getting to the balls he should be. He's not even making the routine plays, so Romero may not actually be a shortstop. But we'll give him some more time to figure it out. He's young yet. Maybe he'll sort it out. Because he shouldn't be this bad. He is making a lot of really difficult plays, though, which is really exciting. Turning in remote balls effortlessly is a really useful skill. I just wish he a little bit better on the easier stuff. But, c'est la vie. Peyton Green doesn't have a ton of range, but he does get the job done, and he's making a lot of really important plays. Wonder why Nate Arthur's zone rating is so poor. Because it looks like he's okay, the likely is a big issue here. It looks like he catches anything hit at him, and then anything beyond that is very challenging. Which makes sense. His range isn't great. He probably should be playing regularly in the outfit, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Alright, friendos, let us go ahead and give him one more month for Nate Arthur, and then we'll probably make a couple of moves. We're really good at stealing bases, though, which is fun. As for the rotation, I don't know what the solution is other than just hoping the defense improves. Because guys like Anderson are really getting victimized by bad defense. Although, to be honest, this is Anderson's problem right here. I guess let's actually look at the pitching stats before we make any rash decisions. Alright, so look at Mike Swanson. Swanson's actually pitching at a pretty high level. It doesn't look like it because the ERA is quite high, but he's actually pitching quite well. He's a lot more home runs than you'd like, but he is walking very few, striking out a lot. This is a good pitcher. He's just not getting things turned to outs as often as they should be. So Swanson is fine. Zach Kent is clearly aging. He's just getting hit harder, and he's not striking as many people out as he used to. He's still very useful, especially for the price, but that is something to think about going forward. Ian Anderson is unreservedly a train wreck this year. Like, he is just walking hitters like they're going out of style, and that's always bad. It is entirely possible that he will figure this out, given his age, but this is a gigantic problem. Lastly, what about Paul Skeens? Skeens is just not pitching well. Maybe he's still trying to get his shit together after missing an entire season, but he's not striking people out. He's walking them in giant gobs, and at least his homers are down, but he's got to figure out his pitching. So all this is to say, I do think with more experience, this will sort itself out. And the bullpen, other than Hernandez, has been great. And Hernandez actually has been pretty good. He's another one that's walking more people than normal. What the fuck, man? Do your fucking job, Scott Emerson. You're actually kind of not a great pitching coach. Guess who's not coming back, my dude? Your fucking bullshit here of, well, I can't make anybody better. I'm just gonna keep letting them fuck out. Yeah, you're gone, my guy. You're not coming back. I have plenty of youngsters in the minors who I'd love to keep around more than you. Alright. Brian Corey has definitely, I want to keep him around. That's a given. This time of the early, I just want to do it now to get it over with. Manuel Alvarez seems like a pretty good sort. We can let him stay. Santana's, frankly, a phenomenal hitter. Hitting coach. I'd love to keep him around in case somebody retires. Jose Vicente is... The man should be a manager. He just hasn't taken that promotion yet, but I do want him to make him a manager, at least a bench coach at some point. Cooper Goldby is an excellent coach. I don't think he's a great hitting coach, but I do think he's a great manager. And so I will offer him an extension. Dave Daniels, honestly, has a pretty fair chance to get promoted to the big leagues. Of all my existing pitching coaches, he's the only one that has amazing development and aging. I could very quickly see him getting launched up to the big leagues once we let Fuckface McGee walk. I just signed him without looking at him, but he's actually a pretty good hitting coach, so sweet. Will Venable is fine. I have no qualms about letting him continue to be our manager there. Seems good. Caleb Cotham, I could probably do better, to be honest. But I think I'm just going to keep him just for consistency's sake. I like having stability at the low minors. And they're all perfectly fine. They're not genius, but they're perfectly fine. Scott Chambers is excellent. I definitely want to keep him for promotions in the future. And last but certainly not least, Bradley Cantor is a phenomenal hitting coach. So I will, without a second's hesitation, offer him a promotion. I could just fire Emerson now. Do I fire him now and then call up Dave Daniels to be our new pitching coach? I think I do. Because he's not giving me anything. And the pitching staff all backslid significantly. I'm going to fire him. And then Dave Daniels, you get promoted. You're my new pitching coach in Oakland. Scott Chambers gets to go to A-ball. And then we're going to try to find ourselves a decent pitching coach. Mike Hinckley would actually be a really good choice. Let's do... no, let's get Jason Angel instead if we can. If we'll take the deal. We're going to wait a month and see what's going here. I don't know why you think you're a starter. You'll pitch where I tell you to pitch, and you'll like it. Okay? Alright, neat. People got promoted. Nice. Wonder who our token all-star will be this year. I don't know. Like, if we can't start hitting better, like, we're not making the playoffs. That's just not going to happen. Getting Lim back actually might help. Okay, Nate Arthur, you're not getting any better. I'm going to send you to AAA. I'm going to trade you. Because look, somebody else can hope that you figure out how to hit. I can't do it. I am not able to trust you to be a good player. Like, maybe keeping you in AAA for another season will help you eventually figure shit out. But I kind of think you won't. I think you're always going to be a very boom or bust type player. And I need you to boom, and right now you're busting. So I'm going to keep you in the minors for now. But before you get called up again, we're going to have ourselves a chat. Zion Malveaux would be a better player if he weren't such a jackass. I'm going to trade Malveaux and see if we can't inject a new prospect into our system. I just don't think he'll ever work out with that terrible work ethic. Nobody wants him. Okay. Well, I don't want you either, so fuck off. If we could get a reliable right fielder, like a really good hitting outfielder, I do think that would be a tremendous boon to our team's success rate. Thanks, Mike Swanson. Way to go. Man, that sucks. He's actually having a really good season, and now he's not. I'm going to call up Luberta, but I am going to let Kate, of course, decide who starts when. Okay, so we're going to pull Hernandez out of the rotation, or sorry, out of the bullpen, put him in the rotation. I'm fine with that. And then the rest of this looks decent. Okay. All right. Okay. Leonard, shut the fuck up. That's my response to you. Romero's hitting better. That's great. Kendall is getting worse. Basakoa looks nice. Nate Arthur got better at defense, which is not what I was looking for. Alejandro Cardenas is a really good shortstop that will never hit ever in his entire life. Who's the number one rookie? It's Romero. Romero's actually having a very fine season. He looks like he was a good choice. Man, having a shortstop slugging almost 500 is a lovely luxury that I think is really going to help this team out. All right, so we're up to 9th in runs scored. So clearly some things are actually improving, which is great. Sagler still sucks. We need an outfielder. I need some outfielder to be a reliable top-tier right fielder to help everything else fit. I don't know why you won't play Biascoa in the outfield, but whatever. So we're in the market for a right fielder. Does such a right fielder exist in our system already? Not really. John Santana is fine, I suppose, but he doesn't play right field. Yeah, let's check the trade block and see if we can acquire ourselves a quality hitting right fielder. I think that would be a very useful thing to have. Because while we have a ton of outfielders, none of them are that great. We also want somebody who can hit for a bit of power. Because that is a weakness of our current outfield lineup. I mean, we could just start Eddie's Leonard. I don't know why we're not, except the fact he can't play right field anymore. But yes, let us go to the trade block and see who might be available. Hitters, please. Wow, really? I mean, Brendan Davis is fine. I could definitely see him fitting in fairly well. Hedbert Perez is pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. He seems like he'd be a decent player. I'd probably like Davis the best. So, what would it take for me to acquire Mr. Brennan Davis? You want somebody fairly good. I'm not prepared to give you anything special, but I will give you Derek Curiel as a starting point. Doesn't really move the needle for you. I could probably toss you a prospect, but I don't want to overpay for a 1-year rental. So I'm not going to give you anything truly fantastic, but I will give you something decent. Like, I could see giving you Wyatt Eager. I'm going to offer you... No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm just not going to bother trading for Brendan Davis. It's not worth it. You're wanting way too much for a 1-year rental, and it's not worthwhile. It's a very poor use of my resources to trade for you if you're wanting that much. I'm already giving you salary relief. That's what you desperately need. Like, hell, I'll tell you what. If you have another player that makes a lot of money, I will take them off your hands. I will take Julio Rodriguez from you. That's a kind of generous soul. No, you don't want to be traded. Okay. That's fine. Ooh, Jordan Walker is very expensive. I don't get why you're being weird about this. What if I just ask for Jordan Walker? Yeah, it's not worth it to me. You're being a butt, so I will look elsewhere for my player. There we go. This is more what I was looking for. And then I'm also going to throw in, out of the kindness of my heart, Derek Curiel, just because I don't want him anymore. There we go. Mr. Hedbert Perez. I'm going to lose him at the end of the year, unless I choose to sign him for a longer term, but I'm not going to pay him that kind of money yet. Not till I can see what he can do with the A's. So, that's that. Okay. I really wish that Paul Skeens would help us out a bit by playing really well, but alas, he's chosen not to do that, which makes me sad. Because what's going to happen is he's not going to opt out. He's going to take the contract. Oh, Goddard. Do I want to keep him around? Is he a good egg? He is fine. He's also super young, too. We could keep him around a bit longer. Why not? There you go. That's a little bit better division of labor. I have the number 2 prospect in the big leagues. That's the number 2 prospect in Major League Baseball. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I mean, I don't like how poorly we've been playing, but hey, maybe we'll turn a corner here. Picking 22nd. Gross. Alright. So we have 6 blue players to take at this point in the draft. First things first. I don't think reliever is a smart use of our resources, especially ones that are so young. So let's start by looking at Eric White. Eric White is a really good all-around outfielder, but he's not a center fielder, which does suppress his value a little bit. He is very high on intelligence, which is good, but he's a corner outfielder at best. So let's look at some of the others. Alex Mueller is a wonderful person. And he could be a great hitter, too. Interesting. I'm strongly considering him, actually. I like his personality package. Alejandro Olsen could stick at center. And he is a very good hitter. But I think we're going to take Alex Mueller for now, and then we'll see who's still around when we pick in the second round. But I love his all-around personality. I think he's going to be very successful in the big leagues. I think that matters an awful lot. Okay. Well, all the elite prospects are gone except for Bobby Stoll. I mean, he's pretty much a reliever's reliever, and he could be a starter. I'm willing to pay a small sum to find out. So there we go. Done. Willard Howell is a really good player. But on the other hand, he's fine. But I kind of want to look at a starting pitcher when there's 2 left that are fairly decent. Bradshaw has decent stuff, good control, a nice mix of pitches, throws fairly hard, but is a really big kid, which means he'll probably throw harder. I have plenty of money to use in the draft. I am more than happy to take Bradshaw. I think he'd be a really good fit for this club. Howell's gone. I kind of hoped he would last a bit longer, but c'est la vie. There's a lot of mid-tier pitching prospects in this draft, which I thoroughly approve of. Sean DeWitt is a very good all-around player. Plus he's in college, which means he'll probably develop fairly quickly. Yes, let's get Sean DeWitt. I know he's not exceptional, but I do think he's very solid, and I can see him fulfilling an important role on this club. And now in the 5th round, both of the pitching prospects I was considering are still there. So let's start by looking at Peyton Tulk. Tulk has good stuff, movement, and control. A nice 3-pick selection. His changeup isn't much to brag about, but the rest of it is quite good, actually. High adaptability and good work ethic, and he's frankly dominated high school. Plus, McGill, if you're not aware, is an excellent university. So I do think Peyton Tulk makes a ton of sense. Also, he throws 92-94 as a lefty. That's very handy. So I think Mr. Tulk, I'm going to draft you. I think we've kind of reached the end as far as... Oh, how's Danny Scafaldi? I wouldn't mind another catching prospect, especially if they can hit a little bit. I do think he can, so I'm going to go ahead and offer Mr. Scafaldi here a draft thing. Nobody wants Dave Tingle. He's dumb as a fucking post. But he does have a nice mix of pitches, and he does throw very hard. I'm going to take him, because he cost me literally nothing. And then Florian Haywood, a 50 potential starter, slipped to the 8th round. What's his deal? That's his deal. He knows how to pitch. He's got 3 really good pitches, and he's got tons of stamina. But his movement is awful, and he doesn't have a lot of control. But he's also big as fuck. And which means he's going to throw harder. I think he's the perfect risk to take in the 8th round. Mark his name well. He may end up being a top-tier player for us in the future. And then I think that's good. I think we can go ahead and let our wonderful scouting director add people in the later rounds. Let's do some negotiating, and then I'll quickly check in to see who our all-star is. I'm saying singular because I think that's all we're going to get is one all-star. Maybe Jackson Jobe is actually having a pretty damn good year. But I also think there's a lot of pitchers that aren't having a very good year. Offensively, I could maybe see Romero getting some consideration. Maybe get ourselves a rookie all-star. That'd be pretty dope. Mr. Shaw, you would like at least $10 million. He wants at least $10 million. $12 million. I got loads of money. I will spend it happily. Job did not make it, but Miguel Ulolam did, as did Romero. And that's it. We got 2 All-Stars, which is 2 more than I thought we'd get. I'm a little surprised Jackson Jobe didn't make it. He's actually having a fantastic season. But I mean, who's he going to knock off the list? I mean, Tanner Burns probably, but... You know, it's fun. So congratulations to our rookie, Rodolfo Romero, who is a All-Star already. That's fantastic. Poor Peyton Green is just year in and year out fantastic. Like, he is a genuinely great baseball player, and my dude here can just not make it. He cannot be given awards. It's apparently illegal, which is a shame. But that's okay. It's okay. Who are my prospect game rosters? Cabral is the only one. Okay. I wonder how my minor league system will be rated once we get to the re-rating here. As my new draft class signs. I'll be really interested to see that. Flores is done. I think his career is over, basically. I'm going to call up Howell. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to trade Braden Egan because Mr. Egan here is always going to demand quite a lot of money, and I don't think he's going to work out. So, Mr. Egan, I'm going to trade you for a decent prospect if one could be found. Alejandro Garza is a really good player. Done. Not even 1/10 of 1 second's delay there. Garza is a really good player. I'm going to try to trade Eddie Leonard because I'm not going to play him to free up a roster spot. I will take literally any prospect. You know what, Chris Jenkins? You're in, you son of a bitch. Because Garza's a really good player. And he could be even better. So I think he is a highly worthy acquisition for the A's. Highly worthy. Offer me Tyler Locklear. I don't need a first baseman, though. I'm more than happy with Oviedo. Is my issue. What is it that you look at my team and you decide, you know what you need? A third string first baseman. That's the secret to success, right? It's not. It's not, though. I don't hate Ciani. I think there's a lot to argue for him, but I also don't want another outfielder just to have an outfielder. Today, Ignacio Flores is hardly special. The thing is, I can just see fucking Mark Kotsay going, oh my god, he's an amazing defender. And then playing him in center field every day, despite the fact he's not all that good. But then again, Mike Howman hasn't been that great either. You know what? Let's grab him. Let's do it. Let's make this trade. Done. Howman goes to the minors. We can maybe figure out how to hit. And then Ciani gets to play center field. And just be an amazing defender. Which he is, for sure. I am not giving you a giant raise, though. That's not happening. But hopefully by assisting our outfield defense, we'll have our pitchers pitch a bit better. That'd be nice. So I'll be real with you. I don't really want a lot. Oh. I could get behind Berger. I don't get too fucks about this guy, though. What if I drop this jerk? And maybe have you add in another prospect, and then I'll add a decent prospect. Because I don't want your mediocre reliever. That gives me very little value. Or like Ian Farley. Ah, fuck off. Damn it, I don't want him if I can only have one. I want that other guy. What was his name? Yeah, I want Berger. I want him a lot. I don't give two shits about Yairi, though. Okay, you want two fringy prospects for one who's less fringy? Let's go. Because he's got really good work ethic and adaptability. I have fairly high confidence that he'll be able to exceed some of this And I just really like having good hitters that can run really well. So there we go. Do we have any upcoming free agents? I mean, Hedbert Perez. More importantly, Ulola. Like, my dude here just got an all-star appearance. Surely somebody is going to be interested in him for a prospect. Because they're not bringing him back. I think that's a silly thing to spend money on a mid-tier reliever. Like, even if it makes a team worse right now, I have pitchers in the minors that probably deserve a bigger opportunity. I just acquired Ben Hayden, for example, who's almost as good. I like Ben Hayden a lot, actually. Let me try to get Hayden and Wilson. What if I ask for Joey Harrison? We're actually getting there. I will actually trade, if I can get a really good prospect like Harrison, I will give you something genuinely useful. I would offer you Carrillo, actually. No, I can't give you Carrillo. Carrillo's actually, like, one of my better players. I would give you Pinto, though. Ooh. Do I give you Carrillo? I've been so hungry for a power hitter that it feels to me like trading him would be a huge disservice. I mean, Joey Harrison is genuinely special. He's a really great pitcher who admittedly does have some injury concerns, but take me back to my trade, please. Is it worth giving up somebody special, though? Like a Carrillo or a Cabral? Or do we trade Kendall? That is an interesting idea. I'd basically be punting on this season if I trade Kendall. But a couple things immediately come to mind. First of all, Kendall wants a lot of money. But Harrison is the problem. Here's my concern. Harrison is already fragile. I'm putting in a lot of chips to get a top-tier starting pitching prospect, but if he blows out his arm, he's worth nothing to me. And that deeply concerns me. I don't think I can do this. I can't trade Kendall for that. So I'm going to drop Harrison. And I'm going to drop Pinto. And I'm just going to take this trade as is. And then I'm going to activate Demoya and let him get some pitching reps in. Is there anything else we want? I wouldn't mind a better catcher if one could be acquired. But I'm kind of okay to see what happens with our existing outfield, and I think our infield is already really, really good. Could and should be better, but it's already really, really good. Are there any interesting catchers? I mean, you're an amazing catcher, but I don't think you're a good risk. I don't think you're an efficient use of resources. Hmm. I mean, I wouldn't say no to Cole Winn if I can get him to come in for a fairly small salary. Yeah, I don't think so. Never mind. Yeah, I don't think I wanna. I don't think I want anything else in this trading deadline, unless there's a pending free agent I can get rid of. Maybe trade Hedbert Perez. Maybe. What if we do this? If you take Siegler, then I will take this deal. That's my price. I upgraded catchers significantly with a fairly reasonable contract. Yes, I like all of this. Let's make it happen. I wonder why they liked Siegler so much. Oh. Cartai is a better player, and now I can call up a young outfielder and give him an opportunity with the team. I'm going to call up Miner, because Miner is actually a better player right now than Howman, and see how this all shakes out. Howman's got a ton of potential. He just needs to actually achieve that potential before he can be a top tier player. I'm perfectly happy with what we did during this trade deadline. I think we've gotten rid of our free agents that we weren't going to keep anyway. I could trade Jesus Carrillo, but I doubt anyone's going to want him. Alright, let's just go ahead and finish the trade deadline. I got what I wanted. I'm pretty happy, actually. There is a very, very high probability that Skeens does not opt out of his contract, and we're stuck with him as a millstone. Because it keeps getting worse. You'd have to be awfully dumb to even consider opting out. I would give him like a nice house plant if he did. I'd be pretty happy if he did. I just don't think it's very likely. We're back to our old tricks of not scoring runs again. That was a nice little offensive explosion. I'm probably going to get fired. to be honest with you. We'll see what happens, but I do think there's a fair chance we're gonna get fired. Just because, like, we're not even close to the playoffs. And yeah. I don't really know what we can do to fix it. We have a bottom tier offense, that's true, but the real problem is that our pitchers aren't pitching that well. And that definitely creates an issue because I don't know what we can do to fix that. But we should be hitting better. I mean, that's the beginning and end of the issue to a certain degree. Silvera got better, Perez got better, Hernandez got better, Green got better a little bit. I will let Howman play. I'll let him get some reps. I'm going to go ahead and give Baden Fairbank and Andres Venegas both some reps here. Have you learned anything from your exile to AAA? You haven't really. Where's that other guy? The other guy with the elite power. It was Cabral, and it was another guy named Carrillo, I think. I'm going to call up Nate Arthur again, and then but I mean, I'm just going to see how this all plays out, because I don't think we're making the playoffs. We're not that far off from making the playoffs, to be honest with you. If you take a look at the standings here, we're 7 games out of a wild card spot, which isn't great, obviously, but it's not insurmountable. We just need to start hitting and pitching and baseballing better. So I guess that's a lot of things, isn't it? But that's okay. We're just gonna keep on keeping on for right now. Just gotta take it a series at a time, right? Oh, I know something I wanted to check out. How are their minor league teams doing? They're all still really bad. So I don't know what the deal is here. I don't know what the solution to that is. I mean, I guess, because I've got good coaches. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. But, I guess that's where we are right now. We just got eliminated from the playoffs. I'll probably get fired, to be honest with you. Very good. Hey, Sean DeWitt just got better, which is pretty wild. It's been a while since you drafted a draft pick high up in the minors and they actually got better. So that's cool. And we'll just go to the end of the playoffs. No, we'll actually go up to the international showcase. That's fine. What can we get to move the needle? What can we get to move the needle? Oh, there are some really great players in this free agent class. And we have one of the highest pools, so if we find the perfect player, we can offer him all the money. And let's do a bit of a scouty scout. These are some pretty phenomenal players. If we can get one or two of them, I think it's going to be a huge boost to our prospect pool. Damn, Rangers boat race the Marlins. Good job, guys. Way to go, AL West. I didn't get fired, so that's good. He's so cheap. He's so cheap. I think we have to keep him. Unless we had evidence he's actually getting worse, which I don't think we have. I don't have a scouting director. What? God damn it. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. My scouting director retired. I got a new contract for another year. Okay. I mean, David Uribe is real good, and the A's are now 9th. We're in the top 10. Partly because I don't think they're fairly rating our newest draft picks, but I'm sure that'll change. Before we do anything else, let's get a new scouting director. I want to do that before we end the episode because it's really important. We need the very best of scouting directors. And we got to make sure they're good at amateurs. I mean, we could just get Monty Barnes is great at everything, who also favors tools. I think that's really helpful. Yeah, let's not fuck around. I want the best. Give me the best. There we go. Any other coaches we have to snap up? No, we're good on coaches. I will happily pay premium for a great scouting director. It's critical to being a good small market team. Speaking of small market, though, we have no money now. We have no money. It's going to be an interesting off-season, to say the least. Part of this is going to resolve when I just start going through some of these arbitration things. But yeah, that's a topic for next episode, though. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below, always appreciated. Until next time, though, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.